Mostly his mom.
I don't have friends. I have family. Terrible movies.
Yeah.
For some reason.
But if you want a beer, we drink Corona.
You can have any beer you want, as long as it's a Corona.
I love those movies.
I don't know why you do.
I haven't seen one since number 7, so.
It's 7 too many.
Fast and the Furious?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, yeah, you just have to mention 7 movies, and that's my guess.
Well, there's 9 now.
Yeah, I know. Well, I knew there was more.
You're being recorded.
Twice. Invasion of my privacy.
What?
POV Cam Regan.
Welcome to Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast with your tippers, Mac, Disfatt-Bidge.
These are just our tips, so take them easy, take them hard. It's up to you.
Ryan, the Tagless Haynes,
Most bizarre Haynes brief that there's ever been.
and Mac Regan.
Yeah, I hear you. And I definitely would take the shot on it because you'd be dumb not to.
Coming to you from the heart of New England. Get ready to take some tips.
And we look good.
Hell yeah.
Ah, my bad eye.
Oh, no. He's hurt again. Welcome in, takers, to Just a Tip, a fantasy football podcast. We are recording on October 27th, 2022. That bitch of a week, week 7, is finally over. We are coming up on Halloween, guys, and we are in our costumes. So, takers, I encourage you to check out our YouTube channel, Just a Tip, a fantasy football podcast, where you can check out Mr. Snazzy over here, Tagless Haynes, Tagless Vince Lombardi. Look at you.
Perfection is not attainable, but if you work towards perfection, you can achieve excellence.
Oh,
I got that on
That-
camera.
Or
I
some
was-
shit like that.
something like that. I love it. Looking good, man. And then we got Matt IR Regan, who is Park Zeebly.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell is Park Zeebly?
He's about to be a rich man.
That's right. The camera guy that Devontae Adams just leveled and still not suspended for. I'm surprised.
Magically has an illness all of a sudden.
Oh,
Just kidding.
well, that sucks.
But he does.
And I am Mike Butterfingers Evans. I'm just gonna take a sip right here, real quick. Oh, God damn
I
it!
hope
Oh,
that
I made a mess. Son of a bitch. Okay. All right. Enough fooling around. This is a very serious podcast. We got some fantasy football starts and sits we got to get to. We got to get to the news. A little bit of stuff happening this week, but tip-off question for you guys real quick as I bring my phone up.
Don't drop.
Trade went down. I know. Trade went down today. It is week 8 upon us here. And if you are below 500, you might need to make some moves. So I want to get you guys' input on this. I know which side I would like better. 10-team league, 0.5 PPR. We got Team A, who has Brandon Cooks, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Alvin Kamara, and Dameon Pierce. He traded away to Team B, he traded away Jonathan Taylor, George Pickens, Deebo Samuel, and Aaron Jones. Team B is 5-2. Team A is 2-5. Which side would you prefer?
All right. Team B. Taylor, Pickens, Samuel,
Aaron Jones.
Team A. Dameon Pierce.
Alvin Kamara, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brandon Cooks.
Oof.
Who's 2-5.
The question on this is, do you think these guys can keep it going type of thing? And are these other guys going to be, the next best thing. Wow, that's ballsy on both sides.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. And the kicker is that they're facing each other this week too, so it's really called their shot.
Wow. If you're 5-2, it's an interesting time to make a trade. I think Aaron Jones is the one who kind of puts that side over for me. If you're getting back Debo, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and George Pickens, that Pickens-Pickett connection is really something, I think. So
it's heating up, man. Got potential.
He could be like a double-digit machine second half of the season.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor, this might be a team now, too, with Matt Ryan sitting. This could be
that
Jonathan
terrible
Taylor's
offensive line, though.
Hey, if you're running 30 times,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Well, I like the other side because I made that trade.
No!
I wanted your guys' tips. I am sick of Jonathan Taylor screwing it up for me, and Aaron Jones just boom or bust. So I'm like, all right, give me Dameon Pierce, where I know is going to get the workload. Take the upside of Amon-Ra St. Brown and touchdown regression positive for Brandon Cooks, who needs to come back or be traded to another team. Hopefully, we'll see. And Alvin Kamara.
I don't hate that trade for you because you're 2-5. You gotta make a move. Like, you gotta do something, right?
Mm-hmm. Still early for a 10-team league as well, so had to do something. And if next 2 weeks can't win, all right, fine. Trade off Kamara or something. We'll see. Still enough time.
You gotta get the guys who are going off now. If you're 2-5, you can't think about like what's gonna happen 4 weeks from now. Like, you gotta get some wins in the next couple of weeks just to stay alive.
You gotta get over 500.
Wanted to buy a week 2 with Amon-Ra. And Dameon Pierce already had their bye week, so I don't have to worry about it with those guys anymore.
Yeah, it's a good trade. Good trade for you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Look what happens when we touch our tips together.
Oh, I love it. Sparks fly.
Maybe if I turn the freaking volume up.
What do you think I got this black guy?
Oh. And thank you for that, Regan. If you guys want some more of that delicious content, follow us, Just a Tip FFP, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We'll keep you updated on inactives, actives that Regan puts together, some graphics. You can check out our backgrounds here and all the stuff on the socials and find out if you should start a guy on game day. So make sure you keep that up. And that reminds me, London game this week, guys. So make sure you set your alarm takers. Make sure there's no surprise inactives right before kickoff, 9:30 Eastern time.
On that note, Mac, do you find it weird that Mr. Unlimited is marked as limited? That threw me off.
The irony.
Got me good, fucker.
Damn it. I need to make the other spicy drop.
You have a spicy drop?
Careful, though. It's spicy.
Hey, that's better than the drop.
Yeah, it was like he was here. It was crazy. So let's get into we got Haynes' briefs coming up, the news, and we got the Hurt Locker we got to get into, which is getting kind of packed right now. So let's see what we got in Haynes' briefs real quick.
Sweet sassy molassie.
Yes, gentlemen. Kadarius Toney today traded. Big trade of the day for a conditional 3rd-round pick and a 6th-round pick in next year's draft. He's going to the Kansas City Chiefs. So, fellas.
KT to KC.
Mac's making me real nervous taking a sip of that drink right now.
I kind of want the Butterfinger.
If he had one opened, he could take a sip, take a bite, take a sip, wash it down. Oh,
just eat my fingers off. Nice. Yeah.
Hell yes.
Yeah, do what you gotta
do. Yeah. So Kadarius Toney goes to the Chiefs. Mac, concerns around anybody on the Chiefs? How this affects their fantasy output? Are you digging Kadarius Toney right now? I know he's been a little banged up throughout the year.
I picked him up everywhere I could just to take the shot. And
I noticed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully you got the other guy, Wan'Dale Robinson, left behind on the Giants, who we'll talk about later, but is trending up as well. But Kadarius was my big deep sleeper for this year, and now he's on a better offense. Hopefully he's rejuvenated. And I don't trust MVS. They paid him $30 million. I'm like, wow, that's a mistake. So trading possibly a 3rd round pick for somebody, he's going to be used. So
are you sure Pat Mahomes is better than Daniel Jones?
Danny Dimes?
6-1 Daniel Jones?
He's not as fast. He can't run as fast, but he could throw the ball faster. So I'll take that for a quarterback.
Fair. I think that race would be probably pretty close there.
Probably.
Next bit of news. This is just speculation here, but the Eagles have been reportedly, I guess they were going pretty hard at Christian McCaffrey, and now they've turned their sights towards Alvin Kamara. So do we think this deal gets done now that McCaffrey has kind of set the market for top tier running backs? Are we thinking Kamara is going to get dealt at the trade deadline?
Honestly, I feel like the Saints have nothing to lose by getting rid of him. So why not? The whole McCaffrey thing, though, is it going to be worth it? I'm not really sure. I'm kind of curious on what they have to put out because they've been wheeling and dealing this offseason. They just picked up the defensive player. I forget his name from the Bears. Robert Quinn. They've been doing moves. They got AJ Brown. So I don't even know what they have left to give away for Alvin Kamara.
They have 6 picks next year. They have 2 first-round picks still.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they're set.
Including the Saints pick. So
you want it back?
They're going to be like, hey,
yeah, right.
Give me back my pick, man. That's what they're going to be. So
that'd be crazy.
I wouldn't give up the first for Kamara. No, not worth it.
Not a 27-year-old running back. I think the Panthers proved that last week. I think they proved it. They're like, yeah, we're just going to roll with Foreman and we're going to roll with Hubbard. And look at that. We ran for 150 yards.
Like, against the 4th best rush defense.
Easily. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't do the move. I'm kind of hoping they don't. I want Kamara to stay where he's at, but we'll see.
Mac, this is the fantasy related question. If you're a Miles Sanders owner right now and we're approaching November 1st here, are you trying to get Alvin Kamara just as an insurance policy, just in case? I mean, either way, you're still going to get Alvin Kamara. So
I say trade Miles Sanders.
I was going to say I might go the opposite way and trade Miles Sanders because you don't want to split that backfield with Kamara and Miles Sanders and a rushing quarterback, the best quarterback in the league right now in Jalen Hurts. Just saying.
Agreed.
Right. Second best QB. Sorry.
Because he had a bye.
Yeah, he had a bye week. That's all. Yeah, I'd actually be looking to move Miles Sanders after this week's game.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. If they're really trying to get a running back in there, then that's a little worrisome. But I don't know if this deal actually gets done. I think the Robert Quinn move, they just, like Regan said, they just made that move. They'd have to give up a shit ton for Kamara. And I think already you have that early data point from last week with how did the Panthers do without McCaffrey? And obviously you got to wait to see for this week to see how, McCaffrey starts adjusting to that 49ers offense and the impact he can have. But we'll see. And that's it for the news, fellas. Not a lot this week, but 2 interesting stories there.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Not much for that, but some injury news in the Hurt Locker here, which I don't know, Regan. This just needs to be a permanent look because you look pretty sore.
So just never mind.
I set you up for it.
I can't do it. It's too mean.
Ah! 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 Ah!
Well, boys, the Hurt Lockers is stuffed as my bank account. Well, soonly. Let's get into this. Concussion, by the way.
I know. I was going to say he's just a little speech impediment because of
Speaking of concussion, Amon-Ra St. Brown, guys, practice limited today. It's good news that he's already out there, but the concussion protocol is lengthy. I'm a little bit worried about him even playing this week. It would be a very big surprise if he does, but good news that he's already out there. David Njoku, high ankle sprain. He said he's feeling much better and he's not ruling out playing this week. This is supposed to be like a 4-week injury. So maybe he got a second opinion or whatever. Let's keep an eye on that. Like Max keeping an eye on that drink in his hands. Anyways, DeAndre Swift practice in full, guys. This is a great news after missing the Dallas game just 3 days ago, something like that, 2 days ago, or whatever it was, Sunday.
Sure.
So DeAndre Swift, he's gonna play. I'm excited about that. I still think you can play Williams. It's going to be the split back field as usual. James Conner, ribs, practice is limited today. I got a feeling he's going to play, but it's tough to say. This is going to be a game time decision, and there's really no news about it. But good that he's still getting practice. The bad news, fellas, this one's pretty rough, like me wearing this neck brace right now. Deebo Samuel's hamstring sat out again today. I got a feeling they got a bye week next week. There's a possibility he just sits out this week, and they give him 2 weeks of rest. Probably be pretty big for him. DK Metcalf, knee injury. We saw him walk off the cart. What a crazy thing, him having to go to the bathroom the week before or something like that and getting carted off. This week, he's like, I'm fine. And we're like, oh, man, got to go number 2 again, huh? Well, that's not true because he's got a knee injury or he's still in the bathroom. Hasn't practiced yet this week. That's a rough one. Yeah. Tyler Lockett has practiced, just so you guys know. He was early on the injury report this week, but he's a full participant now. Like I said earlier, Devontae Adams, the guy that did all this to me, he has an illness. I'm not saying I poisoned him or anything, but I'd like to. He missed his second straight practice. A little nervous about him. It's said that it's a bad flu, also possibly known as COVID.
There's a bit of a stomach bug going around right now.
I heard, so. There was a couple guys. I believe Josh Jacobs was out Monday. There's a couple guys that have been going around with this, but just keep an eye on this and make sure it doesn't kind of go to the next level. I'll skip this one. I'll save it for the end. Alan Lazard, shoulder injury. Heard a crazy pop, crackle, snap, crackle, and pop is what he said in quotations in the last week's game in his shoulder. And he says he does not expect to play this week. This goes back to my my pick last week with Romeo Dobbs being a great play. Well, Cobb and Christian Watson were out, and he still didn't do anything. Anyways. Corey Davis, Jets, knee injury, didn't practice. It's said that it would be a surprise if he even plays at all this week. That receiving core is going to be a little tough this week. You don't know if Elijah Moore is going to play. Corey Davis is out. Rough. Pats are going to win.
Garrett Wilson, team up.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson's the only.
Garrett Wilson, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be some no-name guy, I'm telling you. Anyways, Ezekiel Elliott didn't practice yesterday. I have no news on what his practice stats were today, but just keep an eye on that one. I think it's going to be a little rough in general going into this week. And let's get into the 3 big ones, guys. You ready?
I don't want to. No, I don't want to. No, you are.
All right.
I'm muting you.
All right. Oh, man.
Oh, no, that's it.
He really moved. All right. We'll get into the least worrisome one, I think, would be Mike Williams, ankle injury, minimum out 4 weeks. The good news is he has a bye week this week, so the fact that it falls on that is great. Still not the best thing for it to be an ankle sprain. It's probably a high ankle sprain, obviously. 4 weeks out minimum is rough. Yeah. Carter, oh my God, Keenan Allen.
Oh, okay.
No, Keenan Allen hasn't been himself that first week. I think they were kind of just easing him in. Hopefully he can get to full speed this coming up week, just for Herbert's sake and the whole team. But losing Mike Williams is going to be huge. This one's the worst, but it's just tough. It's the worst on Mac because he was, praising him so much. But Brees Hall, little ACL injury, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. I've gotten questions from a couple people already about, especially in like keeper leagues. You guys got to think Javonte Williams, Brees Hall, they both have ACL injuries that happened not in preseason. This is where we normally see them, and they're back the next year. They will not be back next year. So
At the beginning.
yeah,
I mean,
you will probably have them for the playoffs of next year. At least Brees Hall. Don't expect them back crazy. Mac, you just got to think they're going to come back. Then it takes them 2-3 weeks just to even get going when they start them and so on. So Brees Hall, Javonte Williams. Would you guys agree with me? Are you guys keeping them in a dynasty? Oh, no, I'm sorry, not dynasty. In a keeper league, say you can keep one player. Obviously, it depends on who you have, but say you had somebody comparable.
I probably would be just for the following year after that as well.
It's a valid point.
Play the long game that way. Take my chances.
It depends on the severity of the injury. I mean, when you're talking like Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, they had multiple things going on with a torn ACL.
Yep.
So
very good point.
He could ACL tears. It's almost like 50-50 to be back the next year starting. I mean, James Robinson tore his Achilles, comes back and is rushing for 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown, start the season, and it's like, all right, well, James Robinson's back and he seems to be fine. I mean, if you have other options,
on the Jets now.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he just got traded. So
hey,
he showed that he was too valuable that somebody actually traded for him.
Good point.
But yeah, no, I think you could take a risk, especially if you're pretty thin at running back. If you want to carry over Brees Hall or Javonte Williams into next year, you can make that move. But obviously, if you have some other options, if you have some receivers who you might rather keep, might be a better move.
Yeah, odds are you probably have somebody. What I'm getting at is just in general, I don't think it's really worth it because you're losing them all this year. You're going to lose them for half the year next year at minimum. It's just rough. All right, so let's get into the. Oh, go ahead, Mac. You got something?
I was just gonna say, if you're like me, where you had Javonte Williams and Brees Hall in the same league, your season's almost lost anyway. So
count your losses.
And then, I wouldn't force drop them, but yeah, if I need to absolutely make a move, I get you. You can.
Don't get me wrong. If you got an IR spot, throw them in there. Don't be stupid.
Yep.
But anyways, into the worst news of all that we got today around 4:00. Jamar Chase is just trying to make my bold prediction come to life. This poor guy, hip injury.
This doesn't count. Come on.
It does. Could be out 4 to 6 weeks. The earliest one, the early news I saw 4 to 8 weeks. But I've been seeing recently 4 to 6. He is going, or he has looked into a specialist. He got this, bad news in general, but he is looking for, a couple other people to look at this because I think this is a rough one, but there's a possibility, especially with the minimum being 4 weeks, he could be put at IR. And that's a rough one. He was doing great the past 2 weeks.
Tough loss. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just came off that huge week this week, and you're like, all right, I'm finally getting what I want out of Jamar Chase, and then boom, done.
I was telling people to trade for him like 2 weeks ago before he went off, so really sucks if you did that.
Hope you guys all have T. Higgins, like I said,
or Tyler Boyd, man.
Dude, what the? Go home, guy. There's news that he is going to be all over the field. Tyler Boyd, that is. This coming up week, they're going to use him in more spots than Jamar Chase was. So,
they said they had to get him more involved, and that's what they are doing. So now this just helps him out even more. So
DFS play every week.
Yeah, his price is going to go up.
But,
one question is Zeke, if he's active, are you playing him?
Oh, I got to see who they're playing this week. I'm sorry, Mac.
I don't think I got a note that he didn't play. He didn't practice today either on Thursday. So,
oh yeah, that's not good.
I mean, Zeke has been fairly touchdown dependent this season, so
he's playing the Bears.
Mm-hmm. I'll get into that matchup more later. I was just curious right off the top because
Yeah, off the top, I'd rather sit him because you haven't really wanted to play him anyways.
Very true, except last week. But we will get into more options for you at the running back position in our flex appeal, sexy flexy section. So, anything to add, Ryan?
No, I think we're good. Let's move on.
All right.
Locker
Holy
is
shit,
shut.
there's a lot of news.
It's true, the market is becoming saturated.
Very true. Like I said at the top, just a tip, FFP. We'll keep you updated on the injury news. Like we were watching Mark Andrews to see, all right, he was questionable for today. Right up until game time, they're pretty much saying, yep, he's going to play. So it's going to be like that.
Just left the game.
Did he really?
Shoulder injury. Yep. Something totally unrelated to the knee.
Damn.
Wait, who's that?
Mark Andrews.
That sucks.
Son of a monkey.
Questionable to return, which means he's not coming back.
You're killing me, Petey. You're killing me.
That was great timing.
Close it. Close the hurt locker before
he
there's
did.
any more.
He did. He closed it. No more allowed. Real quick, Scott Fish update. We are in the 1,200 range, guys, and we had Josh Allen and Kirk Cousins on bye, and we lost by 10 points. So, but we are 7-7. So as long as we get to the 13 win mark, which is very doable, because you got to beat the median score as well. So yeah, it's still doable. We got Josh Allen back. We're at full go, full hard tips coming. Every single
Fournette punched it in today too, so that was helpful.
Ooh, I hope I started him.
Come on, Mac.
I'll headbutt you.
Coming all night long, but then he pulls out, and it's just hard. It's been a while since he's seen a hole that big.
Good, Fatty Fournette. Thank God he got in there. All right, guys. Real quick recap of last week. I suppose we should get to that with our tipping ain't easy.
All we do is sit around here and guess what a bunch of little pricks are going to go and do out there. Then we come back at half time and we complain because they didn't do exactly what we thought they'd do.
Real quick, takers. We recall our risque segment that we keep at the end of the episode of guys that you might not get so much exposure to. A lot of other podcasts and analysts don't talk about these guys. These are deeper, more risque tips. So we expose our tips to you, and hopefully it'll work out. And we had a really good week. I think we only had like one bust all season for all of us. I mean, like as a collective. But last week was, I think we got all but one right. So, Regan, we might as well. Bad news first.
Well, speaking of dropping one, Romeo Dobbs, 0 for 4, can't catch a camera I dropped. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, in my defense, like I said, he got the work. Christian Watson was not playing. Randall Cobb's on IR. He had all the opportunity, and Aaron Jones comes out there looking like Megatron, just making amazing catches in the end zone and whatnot. It was awesome to see if you were Aaron Jones owner, but Romeo Dobbs, it's just all the stars were aligned, but it just didn't work out.
Unfortunately,
and I'm afraid to play him any week. And
he was trending in the right direction as far as like his production too. So it's not even like this it was like this random bust of opportunity or burst of opportunity. His snap percentage was going up. His targets were going up. All the stars aligned. You're right, Reeks.
Pretty sure he dropped a touchdown pass, like a go-ahead touchdown pass. It's just gross.
He did. But, hey, you're coming that close. He's getting the opportunities. It was the right call. Lots of people did it. You're not the only one. But then your other call, Jared Goff, man.
Told ya.
Yeah.
100% correct on this guy.
He sucked. He was bad, but maybe we'll talk about him later again. My dog's barking. Sorry. Yeah, Jared Goff, 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. Wow.
Gross.
1.5 points. Terrible. The other side you would have been better with Davis Mills. I said if you need a quarterback streamer, last week you were missing a few of them. 22 points versus the Raiders. So if you notice a trend, the Raiders suck. And then sitting Cortland Sutton, right call, might have been kind of too obvious, but you drafted him in the 3rd or 4th round. It's pretty hard to bench him.
Right.
And Ryan, you had some good calls.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. I was still 1 for 1, I think. But Donovan Peoples-Jones, 6 receptions for 71 yards. He had a fumble on the last play, just trying to kind of lateral it backwards, which didn't help. But he still ended up in double digits in PPR formats. So in bye weeks and in your flex, take it all day. Chris Olave, not the best call. So he was the only guy. And that can always go one of two ways. Either they're like totally focused on you, they're going to shut you down, or the team's just going to force targets at you. And that's exactly what happened. 14 targets, but his catch rate wasn't great, 50%. So he only caught 7 of them. So they were really just like, hey, we got to force it to this guy.
So only guy.
106 yards. So he had a decent game, but I still feel like that was a decent call. But I hope takers didn't take my advice on that one.
Well, what did Andy Dalton throw? 2 pick sixes. They're down early, so their whole game script was washed from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit unpredictable. Every Thursday night game has been hitting the under until that game, so it was an anomaly. I'm still starting Chris Olave. I like him, and without Michael Thomas out there, he's locked in.
Yeah, Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry have still not practiced this week, just so you know. I can't put every name on that Hurt Locker. I wouldn't be able to shut the door, you know?
No, but just don't expect that type of output from Chris Olave every week. So this week, guys, by week 8, we have Kansas City and Chargers on bye week. So you are without Mahomes and without bigger
Herbert.
Yeah, little Herbert there. So and you're some of the guys you're missing too, like the number 1 running back, Austin Eckler. So we need to dig deep and get our
get sexy.
Yeah, we can get sexy. If I could find
it don't look sexy with this bruise and neck brace.
I don't know. You kind of look like you just went through some bondage experiment with.
Tell me how you really feel.
But
that was some porno music. I was ready.
Sexy flexy guys. So we're going to go through players that are not the obvious ones. Like, you're going to start Dameon Pierce, who's been hot at running back. You're going to start quarterbacks that, they're top 12. You're going to start Kyler Murray. You're going to start, actually, maybe we'll talk about that later. I'm looking at the quarterback rankings, and Trevor Lawrence is number 10, guys, and I don't like him this week against Denver. But real quick, going to go through our tier system. First tier, we're going to do Halloween themes. Halloween coming up, happy Halloween to you takers out there. First tier, guys, I mean, it's obviously Reese's Cup, right? But is Reese's Cup a candy bar, or is it just candy cup?
Well,
I've never been asked that question before.
It's not like a regular piece of candy. It's still
it's a candy bar.
It's its own.
It's in it.
Yeah,
it is.
It's tier 1.
It's a tier of its own.
Bar shaped.
No,
can't be considered a bar.
The package is, but it's in the candy bar section, so it doesn't make sense. Second tier
candy bar.
Fun size. Second is Snickers. Always consistent. You know what you're getting. So for your wide receiver, running back, 3 flex play, that's where those guys are. And then third is the Heath bar. Sometimes it fills in nicely, nice and hard at times, and satisfying. So that's really digging deep after the first couple tiers are gone. So we score off of 6-point passing touchdowns and PPR formats with 3 wide receiver and a flex, 2 running backs, a tight end, and quarterback spot. So tier 1, guys, we mentioned it. This is who I got. Want to know your opinion? Help me out. Should we bump these down? And then if you don't like anybody that I bring up, they are a whopper. Nobody wants that. You see that in the bag of candy with everything. Nobody touches the whoppers. Unless Ryan, you seem like a guy that like a whopper.
Guys,
Guys,
now
I'm
and
actually
then.
looking. I'm actually looking for a payday. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
There you go.
Trying to get a drop for you, but it's all right. Pass. So, Andy Dalton, guys, 4% rostered for some reason. He's going against the worst defense, Las Vegas Raiders, guys. He was the number 2 quarterback last week. Fun fact I heard from Heath Cummings from CBS. He's a great fantasy football analyst. Definitely give him a follow and read his stuff and his ranking charts on CBS. It's pretty good. I know. Sorry, I'm plugging somebody else, but he's not always right. He was all in on DJ Moore being a top 10 wide receiver this year. So Derek Carr has 133 starts and the same amount of games for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton has more touchdowns and more wins and more playoff appearances than Carr. How come Derek Carr is still a starting QB? I will never know. I don't get it. But who would you prefer this week when they're facing off, Derek Carr or Andy Dalton, guys?
Wow, that's pretty tough because Andy Dalton might not have any weapons.
Chris
And
Olave and Kamara. He's fine.
yeah, and then Derek Carr might not have Devontae Adams.
True.
So that's a pretty tough one. Considering fantasy value, I think I have to lean Andy Dalton, just seeing what he's actually putting up when he plays a crappy defense.
And you're only using one crutch, so you're leaning that way.
I think you can go. I think you can go with either guy this week. New Orleans got a banged up secondary, and even if Devontae Adams doesn't play, do we know? I haven't seen any reports on Hunter Renfrow. I haven't seen any reports on Darren Waller.
Darren Waller practiced limited, and Hunt practiced in full.
Okay, so I mean, if those guys return and Adams is out, I still think they can do enough with Derek Carr. I mean, he's done it without Devontae Adams in the past.
Mac Hollins.
Desperation
flex.
I'd probably go Derek Carr this week, to be honest with you. But Andy Dalton is. I think if you're looking for a start, if you're looking to kind of reach for a high upside play, he's one. I like it.
That's what I'm doing. Going with Andy Dalton. So Regan, make a bet with Ryan. Andy Dalton does better than Derek Carr. Loser has to eat Marmite. Sweet. All right.
I think Mac has a fetish.
I might.
He likes to
see you guys eat.
I'll eat that Butterfinger.
All right, I'll dip it in Marmite for you. Daniel Jones, guys, versus Seattle, 61%, number 4 on the week last week. He has the rushing upside. Smash matchup. Seattle can't tackle, so look for him to be juking and spinning and outrunning some guys. Jones is 9th in points per game, but only 2 weeks in the top 12. That's including last week. So if it was a different matchup, I would say no. I wouldn't stream him, but I don't know. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, if you got Herbert or something, like a bye week fill in, I'm playing him absolutely. You agree, Ryan?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even if you don't need a bye week fill in, like he's consistently double digits. And yeah, 30 points last week, 17 the week before that. So he'll get you something, that's for sure.
Yeah, he won't goose you like Derek Carr or Marcus Mariota have. Anybody else you guys would put in this tier, in the Reese's tier?
Yeah, I think you put Davis Mills back in it. He's got another favorable matchup this week, home against Tennessee. Carr, Wentz, and Matt Ryan have all had 300-yard, 2-touchdown games against Tennessee this year. Josh Allen had a 4-touchdown game against Tennessee this year. I think you can put him back in that category for this week as well.
You heard it here, takers. Davis Mills is just as good as Josh Allen.
Davis Mills or Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton.
Okay.
Las Vegas is the worst.
Correct.
They are the worst, bro.
I might have queued up Andy Dalton on a waiver ad And right now I have Davis Mills starting, so I'm going to have that decision to make.
Questionable.
All right. Nice. All right, guys. Tier 2. This guy, disappointing past couple weeks, but you know what will be that remedy for Jared Goff is facing Miami. It's a frightening one, but it is spooky season, so you might as well go for it. He is home versus Miami. They are the worst at tackling on the defense, and their weakness is the short passes. And what's the strength of Jared Goff? Oh, short passes. His ADOT is not that great, or his passing attempt, excuse me, yards per passing attempt. The receivers' ADOTs are below average. It's like some other people here. Terrible last couple games, though. I'll look for him to battle back like Warheads, guys. He's sour. He'll pucker when you're putting him in your lineup, but end result, you'll enjoy it. But Regan, I'm sure he's just dead to you. You're not starting him.
Yeah, actually, I started him last week because I had to, even though I said bench him.
Oh, no.
It was a dynasty league. There was no one else. I had so many
switched.
injuries. Carson Wentz out.
Yeah. I switched Matt Ryan and him last second. So, yeah, I don't know. Look for a bounce back game. Tier 3 here, guys. This is the Heath Bars. Jimmy G, guys. Los Angeles Rams. It's not the best matchup, though. The Rams have been tightening up their defense since week 4. They've gotten so much better, but Jimmy G is the QB9 the past 3 weeks in a row. And he has a shiny new toy and Christian McCaffrey to show off. He's like I guess he's more like a shiny red apple. It's healthy, but it's not as fun when you're trick-or-treating here. That's what Jimmy G is. Yeah, no.
I
don't.
These puns are not landing, huh?
No, they're not. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine.
Oh, okay.
But Jimmy
They're not that punny.
No, I guess not.
Wow.
Analogies, not puns. Excuse me. Analogies. Anyway, Ryan, what were you saying?
I don't know. Jimmy G.
I'm benching.
He's fine. He's fine.
Debo
like you
might
say,
be out.
Mac, he's okay.
Yeah.
He's got the weapons. Teams have put numbers up against the Rams, so it's possible. Am I playing him this week over some of these guys? No, I think you got this pretty accurately tiered. I think this is spot on.
He's tier 3 because then your next options are Tannehill if he's good to go, but he's questionable. Right. He's dealing with the injury. It might be Malik Willis. So if you want like a mystery flavor starburst here, Regan, Malik Willis,
Geno Smith, or Jimmy G.
Geno Smith is more rostered, I believe. So that's why I didn't pick Geno. And he's 79% rostered, so I'm trying to go for guys that are more streamable.
What about
but yeah,
Mariota?
I would play. Oh God, you brought that up. I don't like Mariota because
who the hell is he
where's
playing?
my notes on him? We are dropping
Panthers
the ball here. He's playing the Panthers. You want to play him? They blitz a lot. He's gonna have to run for his life, so he has that upside. But I don't know. I think Carolina has some new motivation, man.
Mariota over Jimmy G.
Okay,
Marmalade.
I will take that bet.
I was trying to think of something crazy like you always do.
What other condiments or jams can we think about with the letter J?
Oh,
or no,
boy.
M. Jesus Christ, how much have I had to
I don't know.
tonight?
I don't know. Not enough, apparently.
I'm trying to make one while you guys are talking.
Sam Ellinger.
Willis or Sam Ellinger? Oh, You mean the $150 fab Ellinger you paid for?
Oh, hell yeah, man. Super flex. He could be the quarterback of the future.
I wish I didn't blow my load on Taylor Heineke. That's for sure. My fab load, that is.
Dan Snyder says the same thing sometimes, I think.
Probably.
All right, running backs.
Moving on to running backs, guys. This one, I mean, it's kind of obvious. Tony Pollard, if Zeke isn't good to go, Tony Pollard smash hit this week going against Chicago. Worst against running backs. So I just wanted to mention that. Even if Zeke plays, though, are we still Pollard as a running back too?
Yes.
Flex play?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome. I agree.
Kit Kat type of area.
Oh.
Kit Kats are pretty good.
because he
Kit
breaks off
Kats
some
are Twix.
pieces. I got you.
Well, because
Huh?
they're two, but sometimes you break one when you break them in half. That could be Zeke right now. The full one's Pop.
If you
I think
don't
this
break
is-
off a Kit Kat bar and you just eat the Kit Kat bar whole, like that's weird, bro.
No, that's not what I said. I said if you break it and it doesn't break evenly, you had a bad day. Chocolate's not evenly coated, snaps in the wrong location. Come on, guy.
Okay, all right. Kit Kat bars are meant to be broken, I guess. I don't know what you're talking about.
So is his friendship. Jesus.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're out. All right, ready to ruin it here. Raheem Mostert against Detroit. Do I need to say
Yes.
any more, Regan?
Love him.
You're gonna.
Raheem Mostert practice in limited.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
They're
is.
saving him. He's fine. Last 4 weeks, guys, he is running back 19, so he's the perfect fill-in if you're missing Eckler. He's a Reese's Mostert.
More of a fast break.
Exactly.
I have way more shares of Raheem Mostert than I thought, and I
That
just
you
keep
thought you
playing
did, yeah.
him. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm cool playing Raheem Mostert in my flex every week or my running back too.
I have 0.
I have
It's
0.
quite
That's actually a
frustrating.
candy, by the way. 0.
It is. Very good. Tier 2, guys. Michael Carter on the New York Jets taking on New England, who is 28th in rushing yards per game. That's the defense's rank. James Robinson was just traded there. If he plays, it's going to be limited. I don't see that much, so I think you can get one more week out of Michael Carter. So he is in my tier 2, low end running back 2. Disagree? Bump him down.
No, I'm all for it. I do think he's a running back too this week. I'm definitely playing him. I mean, he's going to have the opportunities, and it's going to take some time for James Robinson. So yeah, I think you're right. This is probably last week, knowing for sure you're going to play Michael Carter.
They get enough volume. He has been getting enough when Brees Hall went out. So
yeah, it's the only and the last week that you can play him with confidence. Yeah.
Gotcha. What about Devin?
25th, by the way, Mac. Just a fact check.
Versus the rushing yards?
Yeah. But still
per
really
game.
bad.
Per game.
Yeah.
Not overall. Okay. Excuse
Still
me.
Jets are number 11.
Shut up, Regan. Nobody asked you. Ryan, Devin
My name's
Singletary. No, I'm sorry. Well, park your ass off the mic. And my Butterfingers are going to drop the mic after that.
Oh my God.
Talk to me about Singletary, Ryan. What are we doing with him? Are we starting him?
Yeah, I think you're going to find yourself in a position where you have to. I never confidently played Devin Singletary, but he had a big week last week. I'm going to pull up his stats real quick. And he's been pretty consistent throughout the year. My question to you is, are you going to play him or are you going to play like a Deontay Foreman? Like, who would you have more confidence in this week?
I don't know.
Lean Foreman because Chuba Hubbard's practicing limited. He might not even play this week, so it's going to be just him versus Atlanta. No, yeah, Atlanta.
Carolina is versus Atlanta. Yeah. I'm thinking I'm going Singletary because he's not split in the backfield. He's getting over 73% of the touches for the running backs. He only has 1 touchdown on the year, though, so I am a little hesitant that he might not score. But it's Green Bay, guys. He's got to get in there somewhere because they don't let the deep ball happen. So I'm a little nervous for Gabe Davis. I'm still starting him, but I am nervous on that.
Green Bay 27th versus the run.
Yeah.
So you're right, though, Mac. Just to lead off on what you were saying, the beginning of the year, Buffalo, they really were trying to figure out if they had something with, James Cook and whatnot. And they've kind of it's just been Singletary of late. So not a bad call.
Yeah. 86% snap rate last week, 88% in week. I mean, not last week, in week 6, and then in week 4.
Yeah, they had a bye week.
So.
They had a bye week, but he had 17 attempts against Kansas City. So I want that volume. And 5 targets out of the backfield. So
and the work in the passing game too. That's going to be the difference for me between him and Deontay Foreman.
Yeah, exactly. But Deontay Foreman, I don't think he is a bad start. He had 145 yards last week. He did get the majority of touches when Hubbard went out, though. So people might see the box score. He was behind in touches until Hubbard got a little dinged up. So, and I think Hubbard's still questionable for this week. So,
Correct.
but I think he can start him as an RB2. And this is in the tier 3, Deontay Foreman. And Brian Robinson, guys, he's going against Indianapolis. Not my favorite, but look at the numbers that's happening right now. Since coming back, he's been trending up in his snap percentage and in his touches. In Indianapolis, they aren't the best team. They're 25th versus the run, but apparently I have that wrong. So maybe I switched up the numbers according to Regan. 28th, 25th. They're below 20th.
Either way, not good.
Anyway, over
Indy,
20 touches.
23.
So what I was saying is when I don't like it for Brian Robinson is split in the backfield with Antonio Gibson, who might steal a touchdown away from him, and J.D. McKissick. So, but like I'm saying, his numbers are going up, 20 touches per game. You could do worse as a flex play, RB3 type of play on a bye week. All right. Oh, man. Let's get through the juicy part. Get our fruity candies here. The wide receivers, guys. Oh, before I do that, running backs, the Whoppers, the garbage, Edmonds, drop them. Melvin Gordon, don't play him. You can drop him too. James Robinson, you're not playing him. Hold on. Just, I think, limited. And A.J. Dillon, you can drop him. Please, punt him to the sun. Never add him back again.
I'm keeping Melvin Gordon. I'm not playing him like you said. And then AJ Dillon, I just want to specify for people, if you have Aaron Jones, definitely keep him. Or if somebody drops him, I'd snag him. Why
Waste
not?
a roster spot. Get Wandale Robinson or something.
I guess if you're over 500, don't bother.
All right. Tier 1, guys. DJ Moore, guys. This is his time. Christian McCaffrey is gone. 45% target share. Look how that happens. Coach is saying they need to get him involved, and they actually do it. Atlanta is awful against the pass, guys, and they have their starting DBs injured, and one just went on IR. So DJ Moore, he's my Magnum bar this week. He will be top 12 this week. Wow. I'm calling it now. That's my bold prediction on the week. We'll see. Top 12 on wide receiver.
Good. You're gonna
I like it.
Comments later on about him then.
Big week last week. I think he had 19 fantasy points last week in PPR.
Yep.
So big week.
Okay. Brandon Ayuk, 2 weeks, guys, and he has 7 red zone targets the past 2 weeks. So he's been going off. He's their deep guy as well. And if Deebo Samuel can't go because he's dealing with the hammy, I'm looking for a big playmaker like Brandon Ayuk to fill in my flex spot.
I'm just mad at him from last year. I can't help it. I don't have him anywhere just because of that.
I have him in a couple places. So, yeah, you got to pick your spots with him, and I think this spot will be good. Ryan, Wandale Robinson, PPR guy. Like, he's not scoring because your boy Saquon Barkley taking them all. But, again, 8 targets per game. You can't ask for much more than that, right?
No, absolutely not. And especially this time of year, injuries, bye weeks, you got a wide receiver 3 spot, you got 2 flexes, something like that, play them. Even if you had one flex and you want to have a safe bet, he's a decent start.
I'd say even if you don't have to start him this week, I would still stash him.
Yeah.
I'd say you're a little thin at wide receiver. Just see how things shake out. And then Darnell Mooney,
dude,
you were saying he's coming back. Wide receiver 29 since week 4. So he's also the team leader in air yards with over 52% yard share on that. So are you looking to start Darnell Mooney?
Not just yet, but I'm not dropping him. This has kept him from being a drop candidate.
They're facing Dallas, so it's a little nerve-wracking, right? A little frightening. He's gonna be the frightening start.
He's not. Don't force it. If you got to play him, I think he'd be fine. I mean, he's probably gonna get you like 6 or 7 points. That's probably gonna be his floor. So, but I would wait a week if I can.
All right. Then these guys, it's really the scraps that, the candy you've been pushing off, but you need a little sugar fix. Chase Claypool, guys, he plays out of the slot, and that is Philly's weakness on their D. Their strength is their corners and up front. So look for him to be that hot read, checking down, quick throws for Pickett there. So PPR formats especially, I would play Claypool. This guy, Josh Reynolds for Detroit. Miami's injured defense. They're vulnerable. He lines up on the outside and he goes deep. But he also only had 1 point last week. But I think he needs Amon-Ra there across from him to open up some passing routes for him, get him away from the double coverage. Xavier Howard will be on Amon-Ra. So if you're projected to lose by double-digit points and you need a Hail Mary play, I'm playing Josh Reynolds. Excuse me. Yeah. I need a drink.
So for these guys, I'm picturing those candies that my daughter doesn't like, the flavored Tootsie Rolls and Twizzlers.
Those are good.
I love them. Give them to me. But
Twizzlers,
the kids just like,
yeah.
But anyways, I'm just curious about your Josh Reynolds. Like, so if Amon-Ra doesn't play this week, he's not going to even bother. Would you rather play like a Wendell or Robinson?
The Wan'Dale Robinson or Josh Reynolds? Probably. Yeah, I'd probably go the safer bet with Wan'Dale Robinson, who's actually involved in the offense more.
Mm-hmm. Just a tough one. I like the concept of Josh Reynolds, but if Amon-Ra, like you said, that's exactly what I was going to ask. Would you play him if Amon-Ra doesn't play this week? And it's tough. Some people are dependent on having other people just take the best guys out. That's how I play basketball. I always hope there's a taller guy there so I don't get blocked more. Nice.
That's a good point, Reese. And I'm just going to throw one more guy in here, and this is dependent on contingent on an injury here. So if Adams does not play for the Raiders this week, which if it's just an illness, probably see him out there. But I would probably pick up Mac Hollins right now and stash him if you can. If you have a guy you can throw on an IR spot and just pick up a guy for the week, I think having him handy just in case would be a good call.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably put him in like tier 2 if that were the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Devontae is out. I would agree. I like it.
Gotcha. Weeks 2 through 5 for Josh Reynolds, wide receiver 34, 26, 9, and 19. So yeah, I think he'll do all right as a flex play for you. And they're gonna need a pass because Miami's gonna score 50 points, 50 burger on them. Yep. All right. Tight end streamers real quick. I'm not gonna bog you down with the details because we're running out of time here. But Minnesota, they have Herb Smith. They're going against Arizona. They are terrible versus the tight ends. They shut down the one. So Jefferson, he won't break 100 yards, unfortunately. But look for Herb Smith to be involved. Arizona's given up the most reception yards and receptions per game to the tight end position. Hayden Hurst, 58% roster without Chase now. He can be involved. Check down plays for Joe Burrow. Then Mike Gesicki against Detroit, who is 7th in catch rate and yards to the tight end position. 7th best matchup in the NFL right now is Detroit for the tight ends. And he also plays out of the slot 60% of the time. And he is tight end 6, guys. Look at this. Tight end 6 since week 5 with 4 points, 25 points, and 6 points. So if that doesn't help you paint the picture for tight ends, I don't know what will.
Oh, it's gross.
You're missing Kelsey. What one of these tight ends out of the 3 would you like?
Gesicki.
All right, going for the big play with Gesicki, the highest point total between Detroit and Miami.
Oh, actually, Hayden Hurst. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I'm queuing up Hayden Hurst, I think.
Yeah, never mind. Yep.
I missed out the bid on Irv Smith by $1. I wanted him, but yeah, I think that's how I ranked him. Irv, Hurst, Gesicki. All right, guys, let's get into our risque starts of the week.
Taste of some of these big guys coming out hitting them. How about if you get a little taste of Landon Dickerson? coming right down your throat.
What'd you say, Mac?
He knows what he's doing, right?
Oh yeah.
For sure. At this point, I think he's just trying to get away with as much as he can.
Gotcha. Somebody's
Get
placing
canceled and call it a career.
They're trying to place bets on it. He's just like, yeah, I'll say it. No problem. I'll work it in there. Regan, give me your risque start.
So we already touched on this guy, DJ Moore, 7 for 10 last week and a touchdown. As long as PJ Walker is the quarterback, I have Moore as a low end wide receiver too. He's just gonna pepper him with targets. This week they're playing Atlanta, 32nd versus the pass, allowing an average of 306 passing yards a game. I do not recall who they played last week, but they let up 469 passing yards. It was 400,
Nice.
high 400s. Exactly. The guy's a must start. Not a must start, but you feel comfortable playing him again this week with PJ Walker.
Nice.
I like it.
I like it. My start this week is Adam Thielen, guys. He's not his usual self. He's a bit old, but like I said with Irv Smith, it's versus Arizona. You got to try shutting down Jefferson as much as they can and look for him to step up and keep the chains moving and be in a red zone threat. Wide receiver 33 on the season. So, but he usually is out of the top 50.
Yeah,
So
he did miss 2 games or a game.
Think one, but yeah, he had
yeah.
3 games of wide receiver 24 or better. So I'm looking for him to get in that top 24 again this week. Ryan, how about you?
I've been kind of down on this guy for the last couple of weeks. He's been running into some really tough matchups, but Christian Kirk, and he's got he's got the toughest matchup in the league this week with Denver. But in the last 2 games against Indy and the Giants, who are second and third best against opposing wide receivers in fantasy, he averaged 13 points a game, 11 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. So I am still going to start him, just considering injuries, bye weeks, etc. I'm expecting that he probably lands in double digits for you.
Ballsy.
Not a big game, not a boom game, but an okay game.
I don't know how I feel about that one, but
I don't either.
It's one of those, bye weeks come up and it's you got him. Ryan's saying is a possibility. He does all right.
If somebody can show that they can do it against the top defenses, then I'm not worried about the matchup because they just did it 2 times in a row against the other 2 best opposing defenses. So
great point.
We'll see.
All right, Regan, give me your risque sit.
All right. So I don't know how risky this is, but in everyone's head, he's the number 1 running back there on a last year amazing offense, and this year has just hit this, not been the best. But Darrell Henderson, I'm not starting him this week. He hasn't got more than 47 yards in a game this year. The first 2 weeks he had 47 yards. I think last week he had 46 or 47 again. It's almost comical. He just can't get over that, but he did have a touchdown last week, so it worked out okay. But he's facing a tough 49ers defense. They're only behind Buffalo in allowed yards per game at 91 yards per game. So you're really just banking on Darrell Henderson getting a touchdown. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely a possibility for him to get a touchdown in this game, but I do not want to rely on that. You never want to rely on that if you have a better outlet this week. So if you can kick away and grab somebody else, awesome. If not, just hope for a touchdown.
I always hope for touchdowns. I'm always looking to score.
This guy you're really hoping because he's getting you 4 points or 10.
My risque start is Ryan. Excuse me. Not start. Trevor Lawrence here. He is a QB 10 on the year, but he's going against Denver. And you're like, oh, well, he has rushing upside. He was QB 4, then QB 8 the past 2 weeks. Nope, not going to work this week. Denver is the best defense in the league right now against QBs. Barely letting up more than a touchdown per game to the QB position. So benching Trevor Lawrence, I would rather stream Jimmy G every quarterback we talked about, even Marcus Mariota, I think I would rather stream over Trevor Lawrence. Actually, was talking to somebody today, Matt Stafford or Trevor Lawrence.
You were talking to Matt Stafford?
No, I was to a guy about Matt Stafford.
Oh.
Back.
I'd probably go. I'd go Matt Stafford just because of Cooper Kupp and because of that matchup.
Yep. All right. I thought so too. Who are you sitting, Ryan?
I'm gonna sit James Conner this week. Even you know he's been missing the last couple of games. Even when he has been healthy, he just really hasn't been doing it for you. Benjamin has been taking opportunities from him all year. I think that's going to continue to happen. I think this is going to become more and more of a split backfield. And I don't love playing him. If you have to, go for it. But otherwise, I'm benching him.
Yeah, that rib injury for a running back is if it's not a leg injury, it's the next worst thing because that's literally what they get hit in instantly at the line. I got a feeling he might not even play, but there's a possibility. But I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable either, Ryan, playing him. So good call.
Yeah, I mean, my only concern with this call is that DeAndre Hopkins is back, and I think that offense is probably going to move down the field a little bit more. So Connor might be seeing those red zone opportunities, but again, he also might not. Well, we'll see. Benjamin is taking a lot away from him. I don't know.
Oh, speaking of Hopkins, Mac.
Yes.
Last week, I think I said he was going to have like 8 catches, and you were like, what? He had 10. I also said he was going to have like 57 yards, but he had 100.
Yeah, and over 100.
So, just saying, another one I got right.
You did.
Kind of.
And we're doing that during our recording, right? Well, we're recording on Wednesday night, so we talked about it. I did start him in one league, but I benched him in another because I had that luxury.
Oh, good for you.
I still won, so first place in that league. Yeah. All right. Takers, if you are not sick of listening to us and you want to look at us, check us out. Just a Tip FFP to stay up to date with what's happening this weekend. We are going to go through our matchups and maybe a peeping Tom with Regan.
Regan really loves that camera.
As long as you're living on the first floor, I bet they do. They gotta make money somehow. Gotta be on the first floor.
Pretty well, fellas.
I bet. Anyway, Jesus Christ. Download our episodes. Share our tips with your friends and family. If you are listening to us on Apple, Spotify, Google, and Amazon, leave us a review where you're able. Shut up. Let's go through the matchup, guys. We have actually, no, one more note.
Pull what up?
Yeah. I got one more note here. Do not start Mark Andrews. Oh, damn it. That's my risque sit of the week.
There you go.
Don't start Mark Andrews. Let's go through the matchups. Who did you guys pick tonight? Bucks or Ravens?
Ravens.
I picked the Bucks. Broncos and Jaguars over in London, 9:30 game. Make sure you wake up and make sure everybody's active and good.
That's a good point.
You should not be starting Russell Wilson. Anyway, I'm going with Jacksonville, I think, because that's going to be their new home stadium.
It kind of is.
I went Broncos. I think it's going to be one of those like 16 to 10 games, and it's just going to be terrible.
Bet the under.
Jags.
Don't watch it. Sleep in.
I'm not.
Wait for the 1 o'clock games.
I got basketball at 6 a.m., fellas.
Go to church. Jeez.
That's Sunday.
Pray for the rest of your lineup. Go get brunch. That's a good idea too.
More
Cardinals at Vikings. I'm going Vikings. They are on a roll, guys. I don't know. Regan, you and I said top of the division, right?
I'm on a roll. Well, yeah.
For the Vikings?
Yes.
Reinvigorated offense. Hopkins is back, baby. I'm going.
Oh, nice. All right. I don't hate it. Vikings coming back from that bye, so they might get caught sleeping. Panthers at Falcons. Oof.
Falcons.
This is going to be a slow, low play game. I don't like it. Yeah, going Falcons. Chicago at Dallas. Gotta go to Dallas. Raiders at Saints. Going Saints. I don't believe
Saints.
I don't believe in Derek Carr. I'm sorry.
Well, if
Not
Devontae
really.
Adams doesn't play, I'm switching to the Saints, but I'm picking Raiders right now.
Okay. Miami at Detroit. Watch
Miami.
Miami lose to Detroit.
They could. They
That'd be
could.
so
Anybody
awesome.
can lose. Anybody can lose to Detroit. Detroit at their best can compete with anybody.
Patriots just slide right up the rankings.
Yeah, right. They're gonna lose to the Jets.
Beat the Jets.
They
Miami
won't.
loses. They're all tied.
They won't lose. They won't beat the Jets.
Actually, Jets would still be in second. Fuck.
Come on,
I got
Ryan.
Pats. I got Pats.
You got
Pats, Pats,
every
man.
Jets game right. So yeah,
I
you're
know.
probably gonna get that right. Steelers at Eagles. Eagles.
Yep.
Yep.
Can't go against
Poor-
them yet.
Poor Pickett. He's gonna throw like at least 3 picks.
Dude,
That dude has no chance.
it's
no.
not healthy. Him and his
Tight-
hands.
Titans at Texans. Going Titans.
Titans.
Derrick Henry, 3 touchdowns.
Oh, please, baby, please.
New York Giants at Seattle. This one's tough, guys. I don't know.
Seattle.
Pretty surprising hot teams.
I went Seattle.
Oh, you did shit.
Yeah.
I'm going Giants, guys. I'm going Giants.
Dude, what a
I
story
picked
that would
against
be.
the Giants every week except for last week, I think.
Mhm.
It's been a
San
tough
Fran at the Rams. Oh, man.
San Fran.
I went San Fran as well. I'm nervous though if Debo doesn't play.
Yeah. But with CMC and stuff,
Right.
The
Kittle's
CMC
healthy,
had the
CMC's healthy.
playbook on the airplane. That's it.
Yeah.
And he had quite a few snaps.
he was fine.
Smart dude
Just-
though.
hey.
I'm giving him props.
Just go out in the flats, find some open zone, and sit there and wait till I throw the ball. I'm gonna go Rams. Commanders at Colts. I'm gonna go Heineke, baby. Let's go.
Commanders,
Let's go.
Yup.
Frank Reich in desperation mode, trying to save his job. We got Green Bay at Bills. Oh, come on, Bills.
All day, every day.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a shot. And Bengals at the Browns.
Oof.
Without Chase Snap. No, still Bengals.
Yes.
Stop.
Bengals.
But it's gonna be a lot closer now.
Mm.
I am waiting to go back to the Colts game. I'm waiting for that 250-yard rushing performance from Jonathan Taylor. It's coming at some point. I just don't know when.
Probably not. That's why I traded him. But no, you're right. It'll come now because
Chase Young practicing this week or next week?
I don't know.
I saw that.
Defense play. Like, why am I going to pay attention to that?
Yeah, fuck that.
He is pretty cool to watch, though.
Oh yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Oh man. Yeah.
Leftovers.
Don't wait for
See
me.
if this work. Leftovers. Yeah, this ain't working.
Oh, he's practicing next week. Chase Young.
It's practicing next week.
Yep.
All right. Leftovers. A lot of Facebook memories popping up here, Regan.
Oh
Nope.
no. Championships?
I want to share this one. Look at this.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
You look like
nice.
babies.
We do look like babies. 20.
5?
Was this 11? No. Oh, we
We
were
were
25. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm like-
Baz. 25 years ago, we looked like we were 25.
Yeah, that was like, yeah.
One day that'll be the
2011
case.
2011, I believe. Yeah, we had a
I was
game.
21.
We were down 26-3 at halftime. We came back to tie it at 26, and then went into double overtime to win
Oh,
40-39 to Worcester Fury in their
Oh,
undefeated season.
such a good
We spoiled it.
game.
And our good friend Hutch, if you're listening, shout out to you. And McCray holding, Hutch kicking it right through the uprights, and us storming the field. Well, you were out there. I stormed the field.
Ah, I was. I was on the special teams.
Yeah, he's a pretty special guy.
Thor kicking field goals.
Mm-hmm. Ryan, anything for the leftovers?
No, I mean, listen, all the sports are in full swing right now. Bruins playing well, Celtics are playing well.
Damn Padres, though, huh? Disappointing.
I know. World Series starts tomorrow night. So
Who's
you got a
gonna
lot
win?
of good stuff going on.
Cheating
I got to go
goose?
Stros.
Yeah.
I'd love to say Phillies, but,
I would love to. I would love to
They're
see the
outmatched.
Phillies. So, yeah, they are. Unfortunately. Regan, anything?
Damn cheaters. Anyways, NBA absolutely pathetic. I love watching it. NHL Marchand came back today. Pretty excited about that. Marchand. Said that weird. Haven't said his name in a while. And then as for NFL, we are obviously recording this on Thursday night. There's a game going on right now on Amazon, and
Sponsor.
Yeah, not a sponsor. Thank goodness, because our platform would probably be horrible too. Because watching the games on Amazon Prime is absolutely garbage. Garbage.
I haven't even tried.
Last week, there was no crowd sound. The commentators were the most monotone thing you've ever heard in your life. They had that guy. Oh my God, the guy diving into the end zone after the pick. Remember that Superman jump he had? I forget who it was. The pitcher was everywhere. The commentator just like, oh, and he got a pick. Awesome. Like, I was like, how are you not excited about this? The guy's 20 feet in the air. It was just the worst. And then if you ever have to like jump out when you jump back in, it bogs down, or it's just the worst. You pause it and then start it back up again. It's all pixelated. I'm all set with this. Their what do you call it? Stats.
Did you not eat these leftovers before you put them in the fridge? Like, this is pretty filling.
Pretty healthy. This is actually a week's of leftovers. My wife cooks a lot.
I like it. It's like a Thanksgiving
She also
leftover.
draws a great black eye.
Oh, no. She gave that to you. She sucked you right in the
Dude,
face.
We told my daughter that she punched me.
Okay, I'm ending this before.
Crying.
No. We don't need her to see this in 10 years. Good night, takers.
She's a good lady.
Good night.
With a mean right hook.